Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another Mullet show. It's an honour and a pleasure to be back. I had a little week away in the beautiful Amsterdam, but I'm back here with my boy Adam to go over the funny and great things that have been happening in football over the last weekend. This is the Mullet Football Show on Full Time Sports Network.
Never give up on us. Now we're on the road to you. Right now, all our dreams can be made, and we'll be kings of football again. England! England!
So, joined today by my good old man Adam. How you been, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Said
Can't really
giving up
complain.
smoking, so I'm raring to go. Like
look
not feeling agitated at all.
You look fresh, man. You look vibe. You're vibing this shit. It's good.
Yeah.
And I guess we can't really complain in terms of our football team at the moment. Can we?
No, we're doing well. Got nothing bad to say. Even the magic Holdinho's come in and done me proud.
How good has Holding been? The thing is, I put on a different T-shirt today. I thought, I'll just bang that one on, and I remember the Oasis of Man City fans. But I'm running out of things to wear in terms of football gear, so we've got Oasis today. It's got nothing to do with Manchester City. Okay. So before we start, just a word on our sponsor. It is the Rafe Energy Drink. There it is. The spray painted hand with the what's that called? Nail varnish. It's a very emo kind of brand. There's a little skull ring on there as well. We like to look into the kind of marketing background of these things. Please, if you dig it and you want some Rafe, use the FTSN22 code for 10% off. You can scan the QR code on your screen now. That's Rafe Energy Drink, our official partner. Please check them out.
And it's not just for emos. Just to clarify, it's not just for emos.
No, but I reckon emos would dig it a lot.
It works double for emos, but it's not just for them.
The people who created Rafe dug a bit of emo in their day?
I mean, the emo thing's a weird one because it's just below my, just like sort of after my sort of generation of knowing what was going on. I was at uni with a guy that was much younger than me, and I was just like, all these blokes with like the fringe over their eyes, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's emo. And I was just like, but what is it? You know what I mean? Like, so
what does it mean?
What are they?
Why are they all drinking Rafe Energy Drink?
Yeah,
I
smashing
didn't
it.
even know that was a thing. Yeah, mate, it was back then. It's been going since the birth of emo. A few comments in here from our boy Moss across the pond. Sports Talk. Big up the FTSN Mullets. That's us. And Haaland faking a real injury. He left Norway, not like Captain Odegaard, true Viking captain. That was an interesting one. Do you think he's lying?
It's just that time of year, isn't it? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Saliba one was, put on a little bit more just to get out of the international, which I'm not bothered about. I think at this point, I'm not the biggest follower of international football, and mid-season, it's the amount of times that we've suffered from it. So I wouldn't be surprised. United always used to do it, didn't they?
Well, I don't know why we've never ever done it, but I mean, hopefully we have done it this time. But he's definitely lying. And like the guy needs to rest. He's scoring for free. But I guess we'll wait and see when he comes back.
I mean, I hope he's not lying, but
he'll be back. He'll get another 7 goals in the next game. So a bit Bubbles bits. You know what? I load up these photos now, and I don't even know what they mean half the time. So I think I'm just going to show you this next one, and you're going to have to explain to me it, right? So I look at it. It's like this time next year, Harry will have 4 more attempts at a major trophy. I
think it's this time next year. This time next year, Harry will have 4 more attempts at a major trophy.
That's actually pretty good. I didn't even know. I think that probably shows you how long it's been since I've watched Only Fools and Horses. Obviously, Conte's not there anymore. And doesn't Dyer look like Vardy in that picture?
He looks like someone else as well. He's like Vardy. It's like a mix of Vardy and someone else. He looks skinnier than maybe they've done that classic aspect ratio thing, like to made his head a little bit narrower.
But that's a quote from Only Fools and Horses, right? I think
it's that this time next year we'll be millionaires, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like,
This is why I've got you on the show, mate, because I don't have a clue about anything. So I just get sent these things now. I'll put that in there.
No, TV and films I can do, mate. It's the football I struggle with.
We only know. This one was quite a good one. I like this one because investigate that, and he's got one finger up, but the guy next to him's gone. No,
that's not enough.
Two finger. But I always find it makes me laugh with like things that banner. Like they've gone out there. They've gone, all right. Let's gonna make a banner today. What's it going to say? Well, first of all, it's got to have a bit of blue nail varnish on there.
Oh yeah, I can see it now. It's like that dress picture, do you know? And it's like, what color is it? Gold and white, or
also like. Yeah, I suppose that's the thumb on the left-hand side, but it does look like two.
I mean, there's something not right. I'm just like having to do it to try and work out what it's trying to be. But yeah, it's like,
is that a mutant's hand or not? Then obviously we're going to go. All right, so I don't know.
What's the T on there as well? Is that just a scuff on the poster?
What do you mean? The investigate. That.
No, not on the actual hand. It looks like this is, or is that on my screen? No, it's on there.
I know. I think that's just like a little mark to accentuate some of the design. There's a lot of thought went into.
Oh, maybe that's meant to like to highlight the thumb knuckle, to say this is a thumb.
It hasn't worked.
No, it hasn't worked at all.
And then you've got this guy.
They just put a T there for thumb, Ollie. They've gone. Oh, it looks like a mutant hand. We better just put a T on it so people know that's the thumb.
They'd be like, oh no, Dave, we've messed it up. We're going to have to do something to make it look more like a thumb.
Yeah.
And then that's when they went in there. But then, you've got the guy behind the poster who looks like, I don't know, he's got these kind of like builders kind of sunglasses on. Orange sunglasses. I don't know what's going on.
He's got a look of Ronaldo, like the old Ronaldo, isn't he?
He looks like he's like in the Marines. I like it. I like the look of these glasses. And then there's
glasses, aren't they?
Yeah, and then there's just two kids in the background who've got their thumbs up. It's just not really working.
There's just no consistency there, is there?
Especially with the guy on the right who clearly created the banner, and he's not going with the one finger. I've never been a fan of the one finger swear. Do you?
No,
I've always been a two.
I mean, personally, I'm more of a fan of the. There's just a lot more aggression in that, and there. It's just like the middle finger for me is just like it's the sort of thing a girl at school would do when you were just giving her a bit of shit. I'm sorry, but
I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that.
The thing is, though, like I associate it with a series of ex-girlfriends I probably had in my teens. You did that to me.
You've had it done to you. Like, yeah. But then more of the guys who's like, yeah.
Well, like that one, that's more like the young ones to me. It's comedy. It's a lot more British, isn't it? But that's a bit more cool. That's just so much more expressive.
So do you think the Americans went with the one finger? We created the two finger, and that is, who came up with that?
I think that's the French. That just seems like, but there's an African one that's like that, which is like poo in the face, isn't it?
Mate, you are literally schooling me on the hand gestures.
International hand gestures of swearing, yeah.
I have been told we're not allowed to swear on the show because it ruins the algorithms, but do you think that counts as swearing?
Can the algorithm algorithm that?
I don't really class that as a swear word.
Yeah, no, it's not a swear. I think it's like
up yours.
Yeah, it is an up yours, yeah.
Oh man, this is true Mullet show quality broadcasting right now. Please, if you're watching, and no one is watching at the moment,
That's right.
like and subscribe and ring the notification.
I've just set up yours for all those millions of people that were tuned in at the beginning.
And we're going to clip this up and we're going to put it on TikTok. I think my internet's going a bit. Might have to open the door. Hang on a second. I'm going to open the door.
Let the Wi-Fi in.
That's it. It's going to have to go open.
You just got to increase the flow of Wi-Fi. It's like feng shui. You need to get the Wi-Fi flow going right throughout the house.
It does work though. It has worked.
Well, no, it does. It doesn't make any sense a lot of the time. How you with phone signal, like how you can just have a great signal, take one step into a comfortable position, and then have no signal. So you just have to stand in like an uncomfortable place in your house. Every comfortable spot in my house has terrible phone signal.
Exactly, and it doesn't matter though because no one's watching anyway.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
This is just a chat like me and you down the pub.
Yeah, that's it. We need to do it. It's been a while. We got to catch up, you know.
There we go. So this is Mo Salah still waiting for his Real Madrid revenge. I mean, there's so many of these, isn't there? There's so many of Mo Salah just looking old and befuddled.
I feel like it's one of those like rivalries are just so much more manufactured now as well, aren't they? It's just like every game has a narrative of this rivalry, and you know, it's I don't know whether he is that bothered.
Oh, he looks pretty sad in that.
Oh yeah, he does. I mean, he looks like a prisoner of war in that one. Doesn't he? He's been on hunger strike.
That's not Mo Salah, is it? No, maybe. And this one was good because it just looks like someone's put Spurs are shit, and it looks like they've written it in pretty much shit. This is a real photo. This wasn't. So
Finsbury Park, innit? I think someone shared it. I saw that on one of the groups.
There you go. So that's Bovril's bits. Now we move on to the even more. Oh no, we're going to Bradford City first.
Oh, lovely.
The Bradford City tweets. To be fair, I think I found some good ones this week.
Nice,
there was some good Bradford City tweets. The first one was this one, which I found quite endearing. So complimentary sanitary products will be available in the female toilets throughout the University of Bradford Stadium from tomorrow. I thought that's very good. That's very good. Obviously,
I like that.
Women's game and that. But it didn't please very many male.
Of course it didn't. Of course it didn't.
Of the community, to the point where I couldn't really post up what they were saying.
But it's just typical though, isn't it? It's like the amount it's the same people that always go on about free speech and call everyone snowflakes, and they're just so offended by everything, aren't they? And it's like,
I thought it was a nice touch.
It is a nice touch. It is a nice touch.
I thought, what could they put in a male toilet to make it nice? And then I thought, there's nothing you can make.
There's literally,
nothing. Potpourri, maybe potpourri or some sweets. But
who's realistically, would you want to take a sweet that had been in the mouth? No, exactly. No,
I don't even like going in the Arsenal toilets that much, but
I don't go in any public toilets, mate.
You don't leave the house.
Yeah, that's it. That's why. Just in case I need the toilet, I'd have to drive home quickly.
This next one made me laugh simply because so this is from Sunnyside Table Football Club, where a late deflected goal gives the town the victory and keeps them in the hunt for promotion place. Blackburn Rovers overcame Sunderland to move above them into third, and Norwich dropped to second after a 4-1 defeat to new leaders Fulham. Draw means Bradford City are relegated to Division 3. And I was like, this is not real, is it? This is a Sabutio.
A Sabutio league, yeah. They must have their own little league going. It used to be big, didn't it? And then video games happened, and just like, why would you play that? I've got like an unopened Sabutio that my sister got me, like an Arsenal edition one. It's got Arteta. It's like when we won the FA Cup when Arteta was captain, and it's unopened. It's still sealed, and like my Hansel, my kid, is just literally desperate to open it, but obviously the balls are choking. I will do, but every day we have this thing where it's just like, I want the ball, because it's got like one of those windows in the box where you can see a couple of the players, you can see the ball. The ball's perfect choking size for a kid. It says 6+, and every day I have to go like, how old are you? And he's like 2. And I'm like, need to be 6. When you're 6, you can have it.
The question is, are you going to start up a table football league?
Well, the thing
and play out, but I could just imagine this guy going, all right. Norwich dropped a second after a 4-1 defeat. But is he playing himself, or is he playing other people? Like, what is the premise to this?
I feel like they've got to have a league. I mean, if he's playing himself and he's doing like his own league, it's not like playing a video game where you're like, I'm going to take this team and I'm going to play all the way through and I've got AI opponents. It's like, if you're playing, if you're playing with yourself,
in the tweet he's saying, right? But like a draw means Bradford City are relegated to Division 3. I mean, he must be. I think he's playing by himself. And
how many people are actually doing this? But I can remember, like, around the time, going back to my, back in the 90s, World Cup 90. I remember at the same time on Channel 4 there was the Sabutio World Cup, and there was that. There's people who do take it really seriously.
But how long is a game of Sabutio?
I mean, I feel like it's like half an hour or something.
I feel like we're gonna have to message this Sunnyside table club and be like, look, how do I get in?
Maybe I open my Sabutio box on the sly, don't let the kids see, and look at the rules, because I can remember having it, but it's just like one of those where, when you're a kid, you got Sabutio, you get it out, and like the mat's got loads of creases in it. They say to glue it down on a board, but who?
Surely you iron it, no? You iron.
Yeah, but it's not. It just doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? You need to glue it on a board because it's just one of the sides.
I think we need to do this on camera.
Yeah. I remember playing Sabutio with a kid who went round his house. He was a Man City fan. Like when I was growing up in Essex, I went round his house, had a game of Sabutio, scored a wonder goal from inside my own half. Didn't count because there's these lines that you're not allowed to shoot from behind. It's just like, I've just scored an absolute worldie from that. Yeah.
It's like you've got to. There's too many rules.
But then there was that other one that, like, do you see the action one?
I had that one.
Yeah. That was
for simple people like me who couldn't play it.
But do you remember, like, there was another one in between that was just like you had to twiddle these knobs. They had little. The balls were tight. Like that one was amazing, but it was like really noisy. So when you're a kid and you get up at like 5 a.m, but you can't turn it on, so you just be playing with it, without it turned on. And because also my parents never let me have batteries. Do you know what I mean? So I'd be like, you give me the toy. That's it. Right.
And then I got a PlayStation and I got actual soccer, which was
actual soccer was a great game.
You remember when they used to celebrate and they just used to do that?
Oh, yeah.
At the screen.
Yeah.
And it was sponsored by Snickers.
Yeah.
They had Snickers advertising. Mate, that was a great game. You could only run in a straight line.
Yeah. So you just had to line it up, sensible soccer.
Mate, to see what we've got now, God, we do sound out.
It's ridiculous.
This next one made me laugh because there's always something in there about a team like this beating Arsenal. So this is a new chant that Josh Parker has put together. And obviously you can see their fourth line down. Yorkshire's greatest team beat Arsenal at the Valley. Doesn't really rhyme very well. But, I mean, when did they beat us at the Valley? I can't remember. But why are we always the ones that get beat by these rubbish teams?
No, I don't. I think they've probably beat other teams, but it's like we're the pinnacle, aren't we? So
we get in the song.
Yeah, that's it. We're getting in the song because it's like there's, we beat Spurs. We're not putting names. Well, that's not like massive achievement. You beat Spurs. Do you know what I mean? We're not putting that in the song. It's just like
Josh replied to his own tweet because maybe he didn't get any back. So thoughts, lads, and then Ben Robson's put. Might want to change the League One part. That's the thing. I can go to League One. But yeah, we made the song. So, maybe we need to tweet Josh Parker and get an audio clip of it.
Yeah, we need to know how it sounds. What tune?
He should have started.
Has he got a tune that he's thinking?
Because, if I was going to give it a go, I was just about to sing the thoughts on a possible new chant, but obviously that's not in the chant. Maybe it's every Saturday we follow Yorkshire's greatest team, beat Arsenal at the Valley, and Chelsea was a dream. Went to Wembley twice in 13. We know where we belong. We are Bradford City, and we're going to League One. Oh no, LA.
See, I like to think of it as one of those sort of emotive adverts that become really fashionable during the pandemic, where it's just like every Saturday we follow Yorkshire's greatest team. You know, and you've got all like that, you know, like a montage of like people clapping for the NHS and stuff, you know.
Got to have to clap into the NHS. No, but I've just realised what tune it is to, because he's put LA, because we sing that now. We stole it from Liverpool, because we say, we won it out of Trafford, we won it at the Lane. But he's gone for, I guess he's going, every Saturday we follow Yorkshire's greatest team, beat Arsenal at the Valley, and Chelsea was a dream. Wembley twice in 13. We know where we belong. We are Bradford City, and we're going to League One. LA. I think your version was better.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be honest, I'm just.
I'm glad we worked it out,
like,
though.
You know, that's it, that he's taken the time to kind of do that. It's like every team's got those sorts of fans. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes when people do the concept art, and it's like, that's great that you're being creative and you like taking a picture of a footballer and taking the time to Photoshop it and like do all that. But I'm like, come on, really? You know what I mean? Like,
come on, where's the NHS clapping?
Yeah, that's it. It's just like, I can't take this poem seriously without any NHS clapping.
This next one, I love finding, whenever you search like Bradford or you do like Wrexham, you always find like a Crime Watch one, and this one made me laugh. This was persistent beggar banned from sitting in Bradford City Centre for 5 years and could be sent to prison if he asked for money. Call the police. He's just asked me for money.
It's like,
but why is he? He's been banned. Like, all I keep thinking is like, he must have been a good beggar. This guy. He must have been good to get banned for 5 years.
But it's persistent. Like, what is it? Persistent begging? Is it just like, oh, go on, mate, go on,
Go on. Change.
Go on.
Really got any change?
But I mean, to be honest, if he is genuinely in a situation where he's homeless and he's begging, then he's going to go, yeah, stick me in prison, because at least I've got a roof over my head, square meal.
I have heard a lot of beggars would dig a night in the cells just because it's warm.
Yeah.
They get a cup of tea, and maybe that's what he was trying to do. So look out for this guy, local to Ossett in West Yorkshire. We didn't get his name, but you've got a picture there. And if he begs at you, you call the bloody police, and you call the police right away, because this guy, he's a proper beggar. This one.
I'm not calling him. I ain't a narc, Ollie.
Me neither. Not yet. Anyway, next one. This just made me laugh because it's like, what a sad indictment of Bradford City Centre. A truly wonderful independent business now run of the mill vape shop. And it just did make me think, though, you do see vape shops everywhere now. Like, are we missing a trick on the old vape shops?
I think again, like the other day, like, because obviously I may be noticing this because I'm not smoking now, but I went just to the shop to grab a beer on the way home, and there was a bloke went in there, and he's with two kids. It's a Friday night. He's like, two kids, like one looks like his son, but this guy is just like basically trying to buy a vape for his son, and he's going, oh, you might not believe, you probably don't believe it, but he's 16 today, and this kid's got like, do you know, like the Simpsons moustache that's just like lines? He's like, seriously, he's got that exact moustache, and he's with his mate, like a kid with a hood up and that. And I just thought, is that what we've come to?
That is,
you know, a dad's in there, like trying to blag a vape for his kid. He's just like, I'm obviously not going to comment. You know what I mean?
There's too many vape shops, but I mean, at least mean old scene kept its place. And you can see that's got the Bradford City colours on it, on the sign. there. The vape shop hasn't even got a name. It's just number 29. So I don't give it much chance, the vape shop. But maybe
I mean, I think it's got more chance than, you know. It's like ultimately the best business model is getting people addicted to your product. Isn't it? Look, like literally, that's why vape shops are everywhere, because it's like, oh yeah, it's like, you know, we can just give these funny, like, you know, sweet tasting things to kids.
Yeah, I just there's something weird about sucking on like a pipe. It just looks a bit weird to me. Moss, what's up, bro? Oasis, that's a little city for me. I know. But I'm running out of clothes, Moss, so I just thought I'd try something different. And I do love Oasis, even though they are city. Did you like the Bastardos through the uni days? Yes, I did. I've seen Oasis many times. I'm up for it, man. Sorry, got in here after getting some work done. You're a lovely man. Like, actually, there's 2 people watching now. So we are just broadcasting for you right now.
We better up our game.
Yeah, we've literally been talking a load of crap for the last 25 minutes. Now we've actually got to make it good for you. So, moving on. That is the end of Bradford City tweets. What did we think of those today, Adam?
Yeah, good. I mean, got a lot of love for Bradford.
I love Bradford.
Big Asian community. When my family went on we went on an audition for Family Fortunes years ago.
Stop it, that's brilliant.
Years ago, and there was like a family from Bradford. My family's, you know, we were obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but we're Asian family, and the other family that we were auditioning, you play like a little game with, and they introduced the mother introduced the family. It was just like, oh, we're from Bradford. They call it Little India, and like give us all the dirty look. We're like, oh, you know, it's just an audition, but there's some real competition here, isn't there? You know?
They wanted on that show.
Yeah, they wanted on that show.
Yeah. But we do love Bradford, and I think I'm going to take a trip up there soon and go to the game, because I do know people who are Bradford City fans. So there we go. Moving on to even more funny subject matter. Yes, Conte has gone.
Has he gone?
He has gone, and I found some good old tweets. This was actually a tweet that was posted when Antonio Conte was hired. There are tears dropping from my eyes today. It's finally club is back. It's really happening. Do not scratch your eyes. I don't scratch my eyes. Antonio Conte is here. He's a serial winner. The passion will be back on the touchline. The Italian job is in full force. Wow, what a night. 1st of November, 21. I would like to see what the Spurs web have to say now. Did you see his interview online? Is that not the
crash?
Funniest? I think
it's like,
I've heard people saying, I agree, it's the best interview ever.
It's up there with Keegan's meltdown, isn't it?
Yeah, it's even better than that. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. Mason Ryan fist pump in the air right now. He is.
Well, just on that note, Hansel, would you like Tottenham?
No.
What are Tottenham like? What are Tottenham like?
Boo
Poo, yeah.
Poo-poo, there we go.
First
time on the Mullet show. Love that. Tottenham are like poo-poo.
He's trained well. But yeah, no, it's literally ridiculous. Like, and the thing is for me is like that whole thing with Spurs. Like, now maybe other clubs do this, but from my perspective, they're the only club that always does this. Every time they get a new manager, it's just so painful, you know, to go. You know, the difference with, like, you know, when Wenger left and we got Emery, when we've had Arteta, I think the general consensus has either been, I hope he does a good job. I don't know what's going to happen. I hope he does a good job. There's never that arrogance to always go. Even the other day, I watched like a
say stuff like, don't scratch your eyes.
Yeah, and just like serial winner. We are here, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know, he's got a little crying emoji.
Yeah, it's.
This guy really went for it.
But it's all of them, you know, that you know, we got Christian Romero, how does it, you know, feel to be small? You got Ben White, that guy, all of those types of fans. It's just it couldn't happen to a nicer a nicer set of fans, in or more deserving set of fans.
Exactly.
Even the other day, I was watching
It was well deserved.
a conversation between Gary Neville and Jamie Redknapp, and it was earlier in the season. I think it was after United had just been beaten by Brentford 4-0. And they're having a conversation, and their argument is like, all the things that are wrong with United about the management, and then Redknapp brings some things into it. They're talking about Tottenham, and he's just like, yeah, but Tottenham have done it right. They've brought in Conte, who is a winner, and like just talking like, and
it's amazing how the narrative changes.
Yeah, and it's just aged so badly, so quickly.
It's just aged as badly as
it was the same with
Mourinho
has. It's the same with Mourinho, though, wasn't it? Come on, let's be honest. It was exactly the same thing.
And the great thing about it was they gave him loads of money. They couldn't think of Poch anything. Then they give these two loads of money. They've squandered it. Baxter Publical, how you doing, mate? Thank you for watching. We've got 3 people watching now. This is crazy. Managing Spurs is poison chalice. I hope Carrick avoids it. Does that mean Carrick is in the running for it? I'm not sure.
From what I saw, I didn't read who they were, but apparently 3 decent managers have already turned it down. They didn't say who they were.
Well, I saw this. This is another good tweet. Honestly, Tony Cascarino, this guy just knows nothing about football, does he? He knows nothing about football.
He's like another Chris Sutton.
He's in the ranks of Chris Sutton. See, even your boy, he's upset at the mention of Tony Cascarino. I don't even know Tony Cascarino.
He used to play for Millwall, didn't he? Back in my era.
We like him then. I don't mind it if he played for Millwall. Tottenham should be brave and appoint Vincent Kompany if they sack Conte. I don't know if that would be being brave, hiring a manager who's not been doing it long and is managing Burnley in the Championship.
But I think that the difference is with Poch is just like they had that thing that, that essentially that you want. You want someone who is going to come in, is going to build a culture, is going to play decent football. And, the best football they've played, in my lifetime was under him. They're the most successful they've been in my lifetime under him. The most the best they've been. And then ultimately, as you say, just the no investment in that. And then, the irony of just giving to other serial winners. And even if you look at Mourinho, every club, Mourinho, like him or hate him, but every club
he wins something.
He has won something. Do you know what I mean? Like stuff that club hasn't won. The only club that he hasn't won anything, and it's like that. There's it all.
Also, which makes me laugh the most about all of this, Spurs fans realising they've even failed to win the transfer window.
They won the transfer.
That was the best bit about it.
Oh, funny.
But if you look at so I pulled up this graphic. If you look at this, like, he ain't even doing that badly. He's not even doing that badly compared to last season.
But then I think the from the perspective, and this is like from watching Tottenham play as well, the difference between the way that they played under Pochettino to how they play under Conte, it's just and I can understand from a fan's perspective, if you're not doing well, it's like if you're playing like that, like playing Mourinho ball, and you're doing a Chelsea and you're walking the league, like, winning the games 1-0 and just parking the bus, then you can't complain. It's not the most attractive thing, but it's like it's having a result, isn't it? But ultimately, when you're playing that dire, like, negative football against teams that you should be beating with, like, the players that you've got on paper, and you're not getting the results, then it's like,
did you say dire? Because I'm pretty sure.
yeah, it is dire.
That guy.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Must say Carrick, all-time best manager. We're talking about Michael Carrick here. We're talking about someone. Yeah, better not go to Spuds. Who's Carrick? Who is Carrick?
It's got to be Michael Carrick, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's not a manager, though, is he?
I think he's been one of those that's been touted to be like, he's been quite. He's going
to get the job.
He was like Man U, like on the staff when he's on training staff at Man U. I don't know whether he still is, but I'm sure he was.
Oh, so it's like, the Messiah's coming back. So Frank may be back to Tottenham. Yeah, so I guess that's what we're saying, that maybe he's the kind of Carrick, the Frank Lampard to Chelsea, maybe. I'm not sure. I think we'll work it out.
I mean, like, literally, I think someone like Vincent Kompany, you know what I mean? If you're going to try someone get someone who's younger, get someone who's got an.
I just, you know what, Adam? No, I wouldn't want
with the
to
money.
prove. I wouldn't want to prove Tony Cascarino right because the guy knows nothing.
No, but I don't think that he is, necessarily the guy. But I think that's what they've got to be looking at. Do you know what I mean? They've got to be looking at giving someone time and giving someone a project to go. You're not going to fix this overnight, but you've got to get. We've had this similar thing, haven't we?
Well, there's a rally march going on, just in case. March the 6th before
Just
the
down the
Palace
road
game.
from me.
So, like, bring any flags or banners, guys. March together like you would march apart, peacefully and in solidarity. I get that. To be noticed by the board and how the fans feel about the club. Please, can all fans be respectful and mindful of children? So I like the way they've used a politically correct version of the march here. They're not going to do like your kind of hooligan march. This is a proper planned march. They're thinking about everything here. Changed for Tottenham does not and will not support any kind of discrimination, violence, or hatred. Okay, so it's a peaceful march. Should we go down? Nah.
Well, no, but it says, bring any flags or banners. Okay, let's go down with the Arsenal banners and see how that see how their tolerance and no hate and no violence goes then. It's only down the road.
Then, that would really set things off.
Yeah,
that really set things off. Here's another. This is quite a good tweet actually. Yeah, this one's from Paddy Power. Shall I do it in the Antonio? No.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit, but feel free.
Can you hear me, Adam?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just had a little bit of a
stutter.
stutter.
My internet's going again. So I'm going to try to do it. You can. There we go. I'm back. Ha ha ha. Get in now. About every time. I can't even say it. Every day, suckers. But
it is just like you want it to be sacked, isn't it? It's just like one of those where, he's like, I can't get my JSA if I walk out.
Ryan Mason's on standby to charge the TSC before the weekend. That's true. No hardware ever for Spurs. It's hilarious how much they were saying the world-class manager and making fun of Arteta. Who's laughing now, chicken shite spuds? Very good. Red card, Romero, diving sun, loser, open mouth, Kane, Royale, fromage. This is poetry in motion, Moss. Skippy laugh out loud, coolly depressed. Thought he would come to Arsenal. Yes, he did. And then Richie Richarlison, less goals than Eddie than Ben White. The Wales phase own goals. There we go. And then we have Banter FC saying, best show on the network. Well, thank you. It's a pleasure. It's definitely a pleasure. Okay, I think we've got a few more good ones. If you liked my really bad Antonio and Conte impression, I'm sorry about it. This one kind of made me laugh quite a lot because it's like this girl's going to say the fact that Sanchez will outlast Poch, Mourinho, and Conte is a perfect indicator of the problem we have at Spurs. And I was like, wow, I can't believe this girl's actually bringing up Sanchez. Like, you know what I mean? And then this guy below just like, perfect indicator of a problem, not the problem. Davinson Sanchez did not cause us to sit inside our box at 3-1 against the bottom of the league for the last 20 minutes of the game yesterday. This guy is sticking up for Davinson Sanchez, the worst footballer ever played the game. And Rose has come back with, just to be clear, I'm not saying Sanchez is the problem.
Right. Don't mansplain me. Yeah.
I'm saying the lack of ambition in the club that allows mediocre players to stay year after year is a problem. I'm with Rosa on this. I think Davinson Sanchez is dog crap. How he's still getting in the team. Then there was this one about Ryan Mason. Every time Levy sacks Tottenham manager, go get Ryan Mason. There we go. And this one was quite an interesting one. I didn't know Tottenham have not had a manager in charge for an entire season since 2018 and 19. So there we go. And there they all are. There's Ryan there, just looking very youthful. Where we go from here, who knows? I'd love to know who we think the next Spurs manager is.
I just can't envisage who it will be.
I don't know. Luis Enrique would prefer to begin his next job at the start of pre-season. Maybe Mason gets the job until the season's over, and then they will go down that route.
I think we're at the point though where people know about Spurs though all over the world. You know, there's like other people have made that comment. You know what I mean? Our foreign managers have made that comment about Spurs being underachievers and stuff. You know, I'm not sure who said it, but it is a poison chalice. It's just like
the players. Viera laughed at the Spurs. Don't want shite company do better with Burnley than Spurs. Laugh out loud. I think this is what we're getting in the comments. Lewis and Enrique too smart for Spurs. You would want trillions to go to that depressing club. Indeed. Dire situation. Negative ball. Never thought Spurs would love that so much. Carrick best win percentage ever at Man United and Middlesbrough. But Carrick is never been...
he's been caretaker.
He was caretaker, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Got to be Carrick, innit? Got to be Carrick. All right. So
that sort of thing does make sense, though. But I think it's one of those... The issue with trying to attract a big manager at Spurs now is they've got this thing of, I'll come there, but I want this massive payoff if you sack me. And that's the only way they're going to get him. And then the manager will just go, well... It's only Spurs. They'll sack me. I'll get millions.
Ha ha! Get in the time. Arrivederci, suckers. That is actually a real statement from Paddy Power on the half of Antonio Conte. I wanted to do it again because the first time I didn't do it very well. So there we go. Moving on. Viera is gone. We were singing his name at the Emirates. Did you think this was harsh?
Yeah, well, I've been saying on the WhatsApp group and that, yeah, I do think it's harsh. I think you're 12th, I understand, or 11th, yeah, you're 12th. I understand that there's a big gap between 11th and 12th and that the bottom half of the table is, you know, is quite tight. They haven't won a game this year, but you've got to look at the teams they've played. And, you know, for me, watching Palace compared to when they had Roy last, you know, before Viera came in, the increase in like sort of quality in the way that they're at least trying to play football. For me, I think you can definitely see they're going in the right direction. And what I said earlier, to use Arteta as a parallel to that, you know, there were people that were saying the same thing about Arteta, you know, finishing 8th, and the difference is that we could see that there was definitely a step up in the mentality and the way that the club was trying to play football, and that, you know, we've stuck with it. It's now starting to pay dividends, hopefully. You know, even if we don't win this season, finishing in the top 4 was our target. The season we've had up until now is so far surpassing what anyone would have expected. Now, obviously, I'm probably a bit soft for Viera because of the history, but when I see the games that they've now got coming up, you know, you look at them against City. They weren't terrible against City. There was a soft penalty that, like, you know, I think when you're playing them, like watching them play, I can definitely see that they've made improvements into the way that they're playing football. You just need to allow that time to click into place. I think with how close it is, and now that they're, you know, playing, you know, they've got through that period of playing like a lot of top half clubs.
Yeah. And now
they're now like head to head, you know. They've, you know, yeah. It's for me, it just, and the fact that Roy is back, it just kind of stinks of just lacking ambition.
On to Roy, the lawyer here, he's a real lawyer. He says it's harsh. It's a harsh decision. He's sitting in 12th. Here's another one. I quite like this one. Arsenal fans singing his name while thrashing his ex-employees as they push on in the title race. That's just a nice picture of Viera smiling there. This one made me laugh simply because I can't believe Farish are going back to Roy Hodgson as their manager. I know Viera was on a bad run, but when you look at teams he played, they're all above him in the table, which is what you're saying. I think Viera was a bit unlucky, really, but our man could be back. Do people think he looks like an owl? I guess that's a certain type of owl in that picture. Do you think he looks like an owl?
Yeah, he's very owlish. He has got an owlish face. It's like a series of faces that look like different animals, and people do have owlish faces. You know, some people have frog faces, you know what I mean? But he's just got
what face do I have?
I don't know if you've got an animal face, Ollie. You know what I mean?
If you were going to give me an animal face, what animal would you give me?
Maybe a lemur.
A lemur? Oh, yeah. I like that.
Yeah, no.
I don't know what a lemur looks like. I think
it's like a cross. It's a monkey, but it's like a cattish monkey.
Yeah, like a cattish monkey. Yeah,
which is cool, you know. If you're going
I
to
think-
think of two
I think
cool
he'd be
animals,
a dolphin. Yeah, beautiful.
yeah, you've
dolphin.
offended me. That's
Roy Hodgson, you got to say it. Roy Hodgson, 75
Roy.
back again, and yet again they will get to
Wahim.
see
You
the
need to
season out.
sign
Dead end
Wahim
season.
Sterling.
Wish I was there to join Adam. Get me Arsenal gear on. Come on next week, Moss. Please,
Yeah, get
please
on,
do.
get on.
I will get you on, mate. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Conte getting some extra cash still out of Spurs by getting them to fire him. Well, that must be a good thing about being a Premier League manager these days. Football's the results business. Parish wasn't prepared to give Patrick the time he needs. A strong, strange strategy in a waste of time. There we go. Roy deserves to stand in his honour and a statue outside the ground. If I'm 75, willing to go back to the job, he's
It's a fair
75.
point. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a better man. Fair play, mate. Roy's a legend. Roy is a legend. I did like this one though. This is Roy Hodgson addresses to Crystal Palace.
I just say, I don't know whether you've got it, but there's like someone who's just like, the year is like 2050.
I've got it.
You got it. Yeah.
The year is 2050. Crystal Palace have just sacked manager Joe Ward and are in talks with 102-year-old Roy Hodgson, who's about to take over until the end of the season. He's a cyborg. There you go. Look, I did my research. I got that one. Roy Hodgson. This one's quite a good one. Crystal Palace are actively trying to kill Roy Hodgson. Like he's 75. Let him rest.
But you look at Newcastle. It was Bobby Robson, wasn't it? Similar situation with him, Right.
I mean, do you think Roy will keep him? The Owl Man, from Lemur Man to Dolphin Man.
It's one of those where it's like,
do you think he'll save the Owl Man?
Either way, it's easy, isn't it? If they go down, they're going to go, oh well, that's Viera's fault. Poor boy tried to come in. If they stay up, they're going to go, Roy saved him. When the reality is, the reality is if they'd have kept Viera, then either way, that's better for the long term, isn't it? It is, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? There's no two ways about it. When you've got a young manager like that who is obviously trying to start a new culture of football there, who isn't doing awful. It's just, we've had this conversation before about, like how clubs are just these like revolving door policies. It's ridiculous for me.
Do you think it's going to be like Roy's first training session? Like, listen, lads.
Yeah. But I can't imagine what it's going to be like as well, because a lot of the players that he has got there now, there's a couple of there's a couple of young French players that are key, like that. Elise is a really, really quality player.
Do you think they look up to Roy? Do you think they look up to him? They're like, who the hell is this guy?
I mean, I've got the things with Mourinho recently. Like I saw a quote of him saying,
who's this guy who's just coming in with his bell, ping, ping, ping.
Like that, Mourinho said recently. Apparently, it's just like when I was at Chelsea, Lampard was a man at 23. He's like 23-year-olds now are brats, and I kind of, I've made this comment before about, like the man management, the mental side of it when you've got like an older player,
like figure,
yeah, that he's just like essentially, I think that's what Arteta has done really well. Is he's come and he's obviously understood.
So I'd just be like, if I was one of the players, I'd be like, "Hello, Roy. Do you want a cup of tea, mate? Do you want a cup of tea? But what a biscuit? Do you want a biscuit?" I have to help, obviously, the elderly in my job, so I think that's how I'd be with Roy. Roy, if you want to come down and watch a film and the silver screen, you get free tea and coffee and a biscuit.
Realistically, though, what have Roy's finishes been with Palace in the Premier League?
Well, he's kept them up, I guess.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, but you're 12, like he's 12 with them. It's just like, do they honestly think that the players like of that generation where they are now, all in their late teens and mid 20s, are going to be looking at Roy Hodgson and giving him more respect than they are Patrick Vieira? Or that, maybe I'm completely wrong, but like
I reckon they'll come into training and be like, that guy looks exactly like an owl. Who is he? And be like, it's your new manager. But he's an owl. He's an owl, man. Sports Carnage, big up, lads. It's Munsey here. Hello, Munsey. How you doing, mate? Most people look down to Roy as he's a short ass. Well, is he short? Is he?
He's size of an owl, isn't he?
Owls are not very big. But that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you very much for coming on, Adam.
No, cheers for
I'll
having
have
me.
you on next week where we can talk about what kind of animals we look like. And
no, you've offended me with a dolphin. I feel like you did it on purpose.
I'm just thinking of that South Park episode where Randy gets made into a
That's
dolphin.
it. Oh, I mean, yeah, Randy's pretty cool. I'll take it back, but you know,
He is. Please, if you are watching, you're still watching. We had more people towards the end, so thank you for all your lovely comments. Please like and subscribe to the Full Time Sports Networks. Please check out Rafe Energy Drinks, drunk by emos everywhere, and they absolutely love it. 10% off if you use the code. I'll show that again one more time. There we go. Use that code. There's the hand. There's the spray paint. There's the everything. There's the everything. Any last words, Adam, before we leave the show?
just God, hurry up and get this international break over. Bring us back to football, the real football.
There you go. But we will be back next week with maybe we should do an international special. You think? And we could do international tweets.
Oh, yeah.
See if we can get some. We might have to do them in English though, but I think we could get some good ones.
We'll just have to do the translations. Maybe we just leave the language. We don't use a translation. We just translate what we think they're trying to say.
There we go. That's the new one for next week. Thank you very much, guys. Good night. Roll the credits.
England!